Welcome back to educator.com. We are going over mixed numbers and improper fractions and how to switch between the two. So if we look at fractions, there's three different kinds. There's the mixed number, proper fractions, and improper fractions. Mixed number is a fraction with a whole number. So if I have 1 and 1/2, the number in the front, 1 is a whole number, and then 1/2 is a fraction. So the whole number with a fraction is called a mixed number. Another example would be 5 and 3/4. That is called a mixed number. A proper fraction is a fraction where the top number is smaller than the bottom number. So 3/4 with no whole number, just 3/4, that would be a proper fraction. Now, keep in mind that proper fractions, because the top number, the numerator, is smaller than the denominator, these fractions are smaller than 1. Because if you ate 3 out of 4 pieces, then you ate less than the whole thing. So a proper fraction would be a fraction that's smaller than 1. Improper fraction would be the opposite. It's when the top number, the numerator, is bigger than the denominator. So like 4/3, this is an improper fraction. Again, there's no whole number. If there was a whole number, it would be called a mixed number. So an improper fraction, the top number is bigger than the bottom number. Now, if you ate 4 pieces out of 3, then you actually ate more than 1, right? You ate 1 and you ate a little more. So improper fractions are actually bigger than 1. So mixed number, we know is bigger than 1 because you have a whole number and you have a fraction, and improper fractions are bigger than 1. Since proper fractions are smaller than 1, we can't do anything to that one. That one we can't change. That one has to stay the way it is. But since mixed numbers and improper fractions are both bigger than 1, we can actually change them from mixed number to improper fraction and improper fraction to mixed number. So for you to be able to switch between, let's start with this one, mixed number to an improper fraction. If I have a mixed number, 2 and 1/2, again, that's a mixed number because you have a whole number in the front and you have, this is like a proper fraction, right? So it's a whole number with a proper fraction. Together, it's called a mixed number. If I want to switch a mixed number to make it look like an improper fraction, the first thing I'm going to do is take this number on the bottom, which is the denominator, multiply it to the whole number. So it'd be 2 times 2, which is 4, and then you're going to add the top number, plus 1. So again, take the bottom number, 2, multiply it to the whole number, and add it to the top number. So it's 2 times 2, which is 4, plus 1 is 5. That number is going to be the top number of your improper fraction. It's going to be the numerator. So 5 over the denominator stays the same. So the denominator of the improper fraction is going to be the same as the denominator of your mixed number. That does not change. 5/2. Now again, the top number, the numerator, is bigger than the denominator. We have no whole number. So from a mixed number, we just change that to an improper fraction. Okay, so again, denominator times the whole number, and then add the top number. Now, if you're going to go the other way, you're going to go from an improper fraction and change it to a mixed number. Say I have 10/3. We know this is an improper fraction because the top number, the numerator, is bigger than the denominator. So in this case, I want to see how many times the bottom number can fit into the top number. How many times can the bottom number go into the top number? Well, I know 3 times 3 is 9, right? That means the 3 fits into 10 3 times because 10 is bigger than 9. So I'm going to write that number as my whole number because mixed number again has a whole number. So you are figuring out the biggest multiple of 3 that fits into 10. So again, 3 goes into 10 3 times, which makes it a 9, right? How many do I have left over then? If 3 times 3 is 9, but this number is 10, I have 1 left over. So my leftover is going to be the top number of the fraction. And again, my denominator has to stay the same. So the denominator here is 3. So the denominator here is going to stay 3. So again, to change from an improper fraction to a mixed number, you're going to see how many times the bottom number will fit into 10. And it fits in there 3 times with 1 left over, and then denominators will stay the same. So here are some examples. This is an improper fraction because, again, the top number is bigger than the bottom number. So we know this is bigger than 1. I want to see, since this is an improper fraction, I want to change it to a mixed number. Now I don't have to, but if I want to, I can switch it over. So then in order to switch it, I see how many times the bottom number will fit into the top number. How many times does 3 fit into 5? Well, 3 times 1 is 3. 3 times 2 is 6. But 6 is too big, right? So only 1 time, and that becomes my whole number. Now if 3 fits into 5 1 time, how many do I have left over? 3 times 1 is 3. I have 5 here, so my leftovers, 2. And what goes down here as my denominator? The same denominator. Okay, so then from improper fraction, I could change it to this mixed number. These mean the same thing. This fraction is the same fraction as this one right here. Okay, you're just writing it in a different form. This example here, this fraction is, can you guess? Good, it's a mixed number because we have a whole number with a proper fraction. So here, since this is a mixed number, I can change it to an improper fraction. I take my denominator, I multiply it to my whole number, and then I add it to my numerator. So it's 2 times 4, which is 8, plus 1, that is 9, over, and then my denominator stays the same as a 2. So 4 and 1/2 is the same thing as 9 over 2. So here's another example. This right here is a mixed number, so we can change it to an improper fraction. You take the 4, the denominator, you're going to multiply to the 5, and then you're going to add the top, so it's 20 plus 3 is 23, so it's 23, and then the denominator stays the same, so the denominator is 4. So 5 3/4 is the same thing as 23 over 4. Another example, 6 over 7. The top number is smaller than the bottom number. So if I look at this and ask myself, how many times does 7 go into 6? It doesn't go into it at all, right? 6 is smaller than 7, So 7 doesn't fit into 6. So this fraction is a proper fraction. This is a proper fraction. I can't switch it over to the other types of fractions. I can't change this to a mixed number. I can't change it to an improper fraction. This fraction is smaller than 1. It is called a proper fraction. Now, this fraction here, the top number is bigger than the bottom number, so this is an improper fraction. Therefore, we can change it to a mixed number. So again, I ask myself, how many times does 8 fit into 19? 8 times 1 is 8. 8 times 2 is 16. 8 times 3 is 24. This number right here is 19. So 8 fits into 19 only 2 times. That becomes the whole number. So if 8 times 2 is 16, how many are left over? You do 19, you subtract the 16, so I have 3 left over, and my denominator stays the same as an 8. So 19 over 8 is the same thing as 2 and 3/8. So this fourth example, this fraction right here is called a mixed number because we have a whole number and we have a proper fraction. So since I have a mixed number, I can switch this over. I can change this to make it look like an improper fraction. So the first thing I do here is I take the denominator of 5, I'm going to multiply it to the whole number, okay? And then I take that number and add it to the top number, the numerator. So I do 5 times 8, which is 40. I'm going to add the top number, so it's going to be 44. That goes in the numerator of my improper fraction. And then the denominator has to stay the same. So then the denominator for this fraction is 5, so it's going to stay a 5 here. So this is an improper fraction because the top number is bigger than the bottom number. So 8 and 4/5 would be the same thing as 44 over 5. Okay? Thank you for watching educator.com.